was very, very clear when I visited soon after the attack was that one of the main findings from the arena attack was around the ability of the emergency services to respond in a timely way and therefore to save lives. And I can tell him that the emergency service response between the fire service, the police, the ambulance service and everybody else took on board the direct learnings of what happened in the aftermath of the arena attack. And that is why I pay direct tribute to all of those emergency services, because from the first call coming in to the attacker being shot dead, it was 7 minutes. And the role was played not just by the armed police response, but by the ambulance service and also the fire service as well, who happened actually on that day to be going to a different fire, but rerouted and dealt with the aftermath of this terror attack. So I really do pay tribute, and those are direct learnings from what happened after the arena attack. On the wider picture, we will know more once all of the facts are in terms of the preparation and the planning of this attack. And I will again, inform him and others in the House if I think there are wider lessons to be drawn. But it is a little early in the investigation, I think, to say that at this stage.
Sir Julian Lewis.
As in the case of the attack on Parliament in 2017, this attack was a combination of using a vehicle as a deadly weapon, followed by an attempt to break into the premises and kill people indiscriminately. On both occasions, brave men had to sacrifice their lives to prevent access. Would it not be a sensible first step for all vulnerable premises to have doors that can be easily locked so that people do not put themselves at risk having to physically hold them closed? And may I congratulate the Home Secretary also on an excellent statement.
Secretary.
Thank the Honourable Member for his question and also his comment. He is right. I think there are wider learnings here. It's why the government has implemented the so-called Martin's Law, which is about making premises safe from attack, and also draws on the learnings from the Manchester Arena attack. That is due to be implemented. I know that there is some concern in the House and elsewhere in the Jewish community, but in other communities as well, about the length of time for implementation, which is up to 24 months, but I will make sure that we interrogate whether that implementation can occur more quickly, and if it can, I will ensure that it does so.
Conor Rand.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And as a Greater Manchester Member of Parliament proudly representing a significant Jewish community, I know how much fear and anguish there was already in the community, even before the horrific attack we saw in Crumpsall, as my other Manchester colleagues have already alluded to. As the Home Secretary has outlined, we need actions, not words, to tackle the scourge of rising anti-Semitism. So would the government be able to update the House on the development of our counter-extremism strategy and whether we have responded to previous findings in this regard, for instance in the review conducted by Dame Sarah Khan?
Secretary.
My honourable friend is right. He will have noted the comments I've made earlier in this statement in relation to immediate actions that the government is taking, as well as the wider message to partners across the public sector at universities and the NHS and so on, that we all need to do more to tackle the scourge of anti-Semitism in our country. On counter-terror policy more broadly, I am reviewing myself all of the previous findings that have been made after earlier attacks and also the work of previous experts that have been asked to look into this by both the previous government and our own, to make sure that we have implemented all recommendations that are relevant and that our response is alive to the scale of the challenge. What I'm very clear on is this attack has asked a bigger question of all of us as a country and us as a government specifically on the response to anti-Semitism in particular, and then also the wider questions on integration and community cohesion. I know those things will be subject to further lively debate in this House over the weeks and months to come.
Joy Morrissey.
Thank you. May I, in a rare moment, praise the Home Secretary for what you've done with Palestine Action and taking the steps to preserve the ability of some to protest while stopping the hate speech and all of the things that were coming as a result of those protesters. But will the Home Secretary agree with me that there is a correlation between the rise of anti-Semitism and these protests, and the way that the Jewish community, particularly in London, but I'm sure across Manchester and across the UK, feel afraid to be comfortable in their religion, feel afraid to even wear a yarmulke, feel afraid to identify as Jewish? This is a national disgrace, and I hope that the Home Secretary will move forward in tackling this, not just with words, but with actions.
Secretary.
I thank the Honourable Lady for her comments and her question. It's why I've been so clear that I don't want people in our country, our own citizens, to feel like they have to live a smaller life, hide away who they really are because they are afraid of attack, whether that is verbal or physical, or that they're scared that their children are going to be abused. That is not the future I want for anyone in our country, not in our Jewish community, not in any other community either. It's why I've taken the steps I have on protests. It's why I'm reviewing the wider legislation around protests, and also on the thresholds for hate crime, because I know that one of the things that I've been hearing very clearly in the last few days is particular phrases that are used that maybe don't fall within our current legislation and are liable for prosecution, but do create huge amounts of fear. I want to review all of that in the round properly to make sure that we have the most robust legal framework that does allow our precious freedoms to be effective for people in our country, that does accept that sometimes people will say things that are offensive, but where we know what the clear line is between that which is offensive and that which is criminal. And once I've completed that review, I will report to the House.
Debbie Abrahams.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And I thank the Home Secretary for her statement, her excellent statement. I'd like to pay tribute, if I may, to the men who were killed a week or so ago. And send condolences to their family, friends, and also to the wider Jewish community. As the Home Secretary has said, there is no place for hate crime of any sort to any group, to any individual. No place in the UK for this whatsoever. And of course, those who propagate hate must be held to account as well. So in addition to what the Home Secretary is proposing around changes and regulations to the Public Order Act, will she be undertaking a review of the Online Safety Act? Because this is a key way that messages of hate are propagated, and there's not enough being done to stop it.